Live. Welcome back to Talk Live. We are back here, people. Thank you very much for joining me. Let me go full cam here and make sure that it's happening. Great. Yes, indeed. So, hope all is well with you and yours. Yes, indeed. We are back and we are live. Sorry for the delay. A bit of technical issues, to be fair. But again, we are back and we are live. Let me just reposition that as well. Thank you very much for joining me. And we are going to go straight into it. This is going to be a short show. It's going to be a rather short show. I wouldn't say rather short. We'll see how far it goes, but it should be within the hour. I'll say that. It shouldn't be as long as the 3-hour show we had last week regarding the autopsy of the U.S. presidential election. And now the U.S. presidential election is over. People can start showing their true colors. People can start, giving up. We'll start, disseminating who they really wanted as their presidential, wanted to vote for as their presidential candidate. Some people didn't. But one person who actually did was Anton Daniels. And Anton Daniels wore a hat, a MAGA hat, at a recent basketball game. And he chronicled that time. And to be fair, it was quite eventful for him. But thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live here on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. All right, so we're going to get right into it. Wearing a MAGA hat while black here. So let me just get into the browser here. Let me just make sure that I have... Yes, indeed. Let me make sure that my window capture is on here. Make sure I have... let's see if that works here. Yes, okay, now we're back. Okay, so let me say we're done. That's a bit better. Okay, we're good now. All right, so let me just get into it as we go here with Anton Daniels here. And this is part of his Millionaire Morning Show. And he just wanted to chronicle his time of wearing a MAGA hat at a recent Detroit Pistons game. As you may or may not know, Anton Daniels broadcast out of Detroit. So again, we're going to play this through here, and this should make for a quick yet great show. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get it. Yes.
I pull up to the game in my MAGA hat. I'm out here in these streets, right? So I go to the game. I'm at the Lakers game, probably the biggest game in the city. You know what I'm saying? I pull up, making America great again. And I'll show you exactly. I don't even care about the game itself. Pistons won, nice. But I'll show you where I was sitting, right? Seeing all of that, blah, 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 blah. Just spot checking, just to see where it's at. Where we at? So, if you look over there where the coach is standing, where it says Michigan first, right up there at the top where it says Michigan first, you can see that red hat. It's a bright red hat. Right there next to the coach is me, is Rita, is some friends and family or whatever, so on and so forth. But right there at the top of the key, right there where the Pistons, with the platinum equity, left or right over to the Bet Rivers, Michigan first, right there, Anton is right there at the top of the key, right? So I wear my MAGA hat to the thing, and the first thing that people start asking me is, man, how did you get in with a MAGA hat? So you telling me that Make America Great Again, people are concerned about something that says Make America Great Again. I'm going to tell you how backward society is today, okay? People are literally like, man, you got some courage to wear that. I can't believe that you was even able to get inside of the arena. And I'm thinking to myself, because I don't operate on the same frequency as everybody else, right? I'm operating on the same frequency of the foundation of the Constitution, because we are in a republic. Understand this. This is a republic. I know that y'all didn't take civics. I know that people don't really understand what we living in. I know that we are court of public opinion, identity politics. You gonna go based off of some misinformation that somebody told you online. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. We live in a republic. We are governed by the Constitution, not based off of majority rules. Let me say it again for the people in the back. You may not know this, but I'm going to educate you today. We are governed ultimately by the Constitution. not majority rule. So you may think that you live in a democracy, but in reality, the core of who we are is based off of the Constitution. So you're telling me that I'm supposed to be afraid of other human beings that bleed like me because I have a Make America Great Again hat on? Get the...
Well, let's see. Anton is quite colorful in his language, to be fair, but he's right, and a lot of people missed that class. I don't think a lot of people were listening during that class, but yes, indeed, it is a republic, and it is governed by the Constitution of the United States, and also by the Bill of Rights, and its amendments. So again, yeah, he's allowed to wear his hat wherever he wants to go. But it's just, but you know, it's sad to say that black people are considered a monolith. Black people are considered especially in the United States, they either vote Democrat or die because your mama black, and to vote against such a party, and they see it as sacrilege. They see it as a slight against humanity of itself. That a black Asian presidential candidate did not get into office, with whom 80% of the vote was voted by black men. So any black man going against said credo, well, yeah, they're worse than the devil. Let's continue.
The hell out of here! You gotta be kidding me! But let me help you to understand exactly what my experience was. So I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. I'm rolling in. I'm getting to it. I'm hugging everybody. They hugging me. We having good energy. You know, the first person that questioned my hat. Now, of course, I know that people are staring at me, but I'm Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I'm the same person that walks in a crowd of people with a camera vlogging, talking loud, and don't care nothing about what nobody thinks. I'm the same person as I was in high school. I walked around with the utmost of confidence. I care nothing about what nobody thinks. I am me, and everybody has to move around me, and I don't adjust to my environment. The environment adjusts to me. That has been my mentality since the day I was born. That is my mentality today as a 42-year-old man, and nothing has changed. My life is awesome. The world revolves around me. That's the way I see it, because I know that I'm right. And when you know that you're right, you operate in confidence. When you know that you got God on your side, you don't worry about what the world thinks. Why would I be concerned? People are hitting me up and saying, man, you ain't scared of what people gonna think. I got the Holy Ghost. I got the Holy Ghost. I'm on the right side of history. Regardless of what happens in the election, I got the Holy Ghost and I'm on the right side of history. Meaning that God is on my side. He sent the comforter and he gave me my agenda and he told me what to do. So if I care about what God thinks, what would I care about what man thinks? And that's why I don't understand these Christians. I don't understand people that care so much, because the loudest ones in the room is usually the ones that's demonic. And they bully.
And so, yeah, it's Anton is absolutely correct. I mean, he's invoking God and the Bible and the Scripture, but he's absolutely right. He's a free thinking man. He is indeed on the right side of history, according to him, and he shouldn't be afraid of wearing a hat anywhere that he goes, even if he is black. But again, you know, it's sort of a shock to the system to see it on a person's head. But again, Anton is cut from a different cloth, to be fair. And you know, and kudos to him. Kudos to have the bravery. Kudos to him having the temerity and the you know, just utter gumption to go out there and wear the hat, because again, he is not going to kowtow to popular belief and to the powers that be of popular culture to wear such a hat. So again, he's a brave man for doing so, and kudos to him.
People to doing what they want to do. But when did we start being so quiet when God said that if we persecuted for righteousness' sake? When did we start being so quiet? Why do I care about what other people think? And the first person that said something to me is somebody that I know. Somebody that I've been interacting with outside of running to them, they didn't have courtside seats right along with me. He said, "Oh man, I can't believe you, Anton. Oh dog." I said, "Dog, you watch my podcast. You know where I stand at. What you acting crazy for?" "Yeah, but you got the hat on today, man. Somebody come and tell him." And I was looking around. I said, "Who gonna tell me? Who gonna tell me?" Security love me. Police love me. They all right here. They all just hugged me and said, and they whispered in my ear. And here's the key. They whisper in your ear. The ones that actually believe in what you believe in, but they don't want to actually say it out loud because they're afraid of being ostracized or they're afraid of being criticized. They give you that. They give you a hug and say, "Yeah, man, yeah, me too, man. I'm going to vote for Trump." And then they adapt around the rest of y'all. You don't even know that the majority of the people got conservative views just like me. I'm just the one that's loud enough to say it, and I'm the one the most confident. And you know what? Right after that, I got little kids, Chaldean kids, Arabic kids, and white kids running up to me. "Oh my God, I love your hat." I ain't have to worry about no black kids coming up to me. You know why? Because none of them was able to get in the players club because their parents couldn't afford to be there. So,
oh well. Yeah, he's calling class out here, ladies and gentlemen. But again, he is indeed, yeah, he's indeed on his game. He is indeed on his grind, and again, he's enjoying the fruits of his labor. So again, he's every right to say that he's in the Players Club, and that people of a certain class are going to vote for Donald Trump, including those who are well-to-do, including Anton Daniels. So again, he's supporting those who have. I mean, he is supporting a person who is going to make him richer at the end of the day. And whether you be black, white, Jew, Gentile, Protestant, Catholic, you have a right to, and you have the right to vote. You have the right to support whoever you want, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. And he voted for Donald Trump. But for many, such support is damning to the rest of the world, and damning to a certain segment of the political constituency. So again, it's hey, love it or leave it. He voted for Trump, and he wanted to profess his love for Trump. And but again, in this matriarchy, in this place where in this democratic process where either you're Democratic or you're not black, he is bucking that trend, and God love him for doing that. Let's continue. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live.
All of the ones that's criticizing me are the ones that just so happen to get their tickets given to them, and the ones that really celebrate what I got going on can afford to be there. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? I'm telling you, it is the weirdest thing ever. Let me help you to understand something, bro. I sat there and I met some of the most prominent people that were visiting and that were core people in the city. And we exchanged information, we exchanged phone numbers, and I'm not even going to say who their name is or what their position is because I'm not trying to put them out there like that. Good people, doing business, and also they got my back and they going to make sure that I'm protected. I mean, it was crazy. The amount of love that you get when you operate in the confidence of God is amazing. It's amazing. But here's the other part about it. So I'm sitting there, and it's halftime, and the game has started, and I compliment this woman's boots that's sitting next to me, and Rita's right across the table, and there's two black women over to my right-hand side, right? And so the one woman then says, she's staring. First, I give her a compliment. "Oh, my God, thank you. Hey, where'd you get these from? Mr. B's, you know who you are. You know who you are. I know you watch the show. I'm talking about you. I'm talking about you. I'm going to tell on you today. I ain't going to tell them your name because I don't know your name, but I would tell them your name if I knew your name because I need you to be coming to the front of the congregation." So this little tackhead black woman is sitting there next to me. "Why you got that hat on?" And then she says it under her breath, "Sell out." I ain't say nothing. But just a minute before, when I was complimenting her boots, she told me that one of her friends that worked with her got her friend to be able to give him some tickets because he wasn't going to be in town for the night, for that night. So she just so happened to get in the Players Club because she got somebody else's tickets. Cackhead. Cool, I ain't tripping about that. You got somebody else's tickets. And called me a sellout under her breath.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the the old Negro spiritual playbook, where a black man who breaks from tradition usually is vilified, and he is called a sellout, aka the Uncle Tom reference. And it's a shame that in 2024 a man can't vote with his views, can't vote with his political leanings, can't vote with his right, has a right to choose, but yet cannot exercise said right to choose without being vilified and ridiculed. And as you saw it right there, it as plain as day, it happened. A woman saw him with the hat on and had something to say about it. And you know what? We could it's hope that we can rise above this, but for a certain segment of the population, that cannot be the case. They're all haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate, and a man like Anton Daniels wearing a MAGA hat into a certain establishment are always gonna get people, but more than likely women who are going to come at him for the choices he's made, and you know what? It comes with the territory. It just simply comes with the territory. Let's continue.
I said, say it out loud with your chest. I just don't understand. That's what she said. I don't understand. I just don't understand why you would vote for him. I said, why wouldn't I vote for him? Well, he got all of these charges against him. Honest to God, on everything, on my daughter's life. I said this. This is what I said to her. I said, tell me about the charges. What was the charges? I mean, they out there. I can look them up. I said, no, tell me about them. Tell me about the charges. What is it that he got charged with, and what do you disagree with? What do you think he should be convicted for? I mean, he got him.
Let that sink in. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get a certain segment of the population who vilifies you and who has comments to say about you, all well and good. But if you cannot back it up, that, my friends, is the ultimate tragedy, as is seen here. The woman doesn't even know what why she is calling him a sellout. Knows nothing of the cases against Donald Trump. Knows nothing of the convictions against Donald Trump, of which he and his supporters were guilty of paying monies to a porn star, which is against rules of the presidency of the United States. You can't do that. So it wasn't really the payment wasn't made exactly by Donald Trump. It was made by his hangers on. So, but by him making that payment, he was considered guilty, and so technical felonies fell upon him. The lady didn't realize this. She didn't realize what he was charged for, nor did she care. All she wanted to know was this man, was grabbing by the pee, was had enforced January 6th. And I doubt she even knew that. But she wanted to be acknowledged. She wanted to acknowledge the fact that this man was convicted of something, so he must be bad. Martin Luther King once said that one should be judged by the not by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. And clearly, she did not know the content of the character of Donald Trump so much as to criticize Donald. She's just going with the crowd. And that, my friends, is the ultimate tragedy. That you couldn't educate yourself into knowing what those charges were, so when you criticize, you can back it up. So you're seen as ignorant. You're seen as unlearned. You're seen as without any grounds for action. And that's a shame. That's the ultimate shame. It's a trial by the public, in which anything that's where you're treated guilty before proven innocent. But the fact of the matter is that people saw through that, and they voted Donald Trump as the president of the United States. They voted with their pocketbook. I mean, they voted with their feelings that they want a new day, they want a new economy. But some people didn't understand that, didn't want to know about that. All they saw was your mama black and she's black, so you should vote for her. Another dumbing down of America, to be fair. And that's the reason why he's wearing a hat on his head, just like that. Let's continue.
I said, you can't. In my mind, I said, you can't be this slow. I said, but this is gonna be hilarious. So Rita's sitting there like, she already knows what's about to happen. So I says, what is it that you don't agree with? I mean, what about Project 2025? I said, you know that's not of him, right? Well, the media said it was of him. I'm telling you word for word what happens. I said, okay, a lot of misinformation. What else don't you agree with? I mean, he's trying to get police immunity to come and kill us. What if he take over the government and then he just completely makes himself king? Do you know, I mean, this woman had to be in her upper 40s, at least 40 something. You know the profile, possibly diabetic, fupas, bad skin, lips black, nice shoes though, nice shoes. The question that then comes to my mind often at these times is, do you waste your time and throw your pearls to swine? Because if I don't have the camera on, then that means that I can't really capture it, so I can't really profit from it. And so if it's not beneficial to me, and I know that people are going to be the way that they're going to be regardless, then should I waste my time? That's the dilemma. The dilemma that I go through on a regular basis when I get into these conversations with my black and black on the black hand side people is, do I waste my time? And so I make a small attempt to educate her. I said, you know the police immunity thing is just a talking point. It doesn't absolve the police officers from being held accountable for the things that they do outside of their training and the manual within their department. And so if they didn't do it, then they're not immune to their personal assets being gone after and for them to be held accountable for their actions if they unjustly do something to somebody and it's against the law. But
yes, and that is the truth. Again, the United States is still governed by the rule of law. So therefore, a president can't exonerate and cannot stop due process from occurring. So if these officers that were involved in the Trump scandal were indeed guilty, they can be found guilty. Trump was found guilty. He was not above the law. He was not. And again, he's a convicted felon. That alone should tell you that Trump cannot stop due process. No one rises above the law. Period. So for her to mention such things, she must not know about jurisprudence, quite simply. Well, jurisprudence is legal history, but Basically, it's your right to attorney, your right to due process, your right to and your right to a fair trial. But again, they think that Trump can wave a magic wand and they get out of their issue. No, they have to be brought to justice. It's as simple as that. It's then after when due process happen that the president can step in if necessary, and only if it's necessary. But that's just the layman's terms. I mean, I'm not a legal U.S. legal expert. I don't know the ways and means and avenues in which to go down to get this done. But again, that's relative legalese on what has to happen with these individuals. So, but again, these ladies don't realize that. They don't know about that. All they know is Trump is the bad guy. And that anything he touches will immediately turn to shit. And listen, guys, he is not the boogeyman. He's not the devil. You may not like him, but again, there are rules. There is a Constitution. There are a Bill of Rights. And it still stands to this day.
But if you operate within the police manual and so on and so forth, naturally you should be protected, especially personally, from the things that you do in your job, similar to if you was a tax accountant or if you was a lawyer, right? And you create a business in order to protect your personal assets from it. But it doesn't absolve you from being held accountable for your actions. You know what that's mean, right? If you actually understood the law here, let me show it to you, and I started to pull it out. I don't even care. I just don't like him. I said, Rita said, Anton, don't even waste your time. In order to wear that hat, you must be rich. That was her final thoughts. Her final moment was, in order to wear that hat, you must got a lot of money. You must be rich. I don't even entertain. I just walked away. I said, that's why you ain't got no ring on your finger. She said, oh! And I just got up and walked away. That's why you ain't got no ring on your finger. Let's go, Rita. Rita started cracking up. She thought that was the funniest thing ever. That's why you ain't got no ring on your finger. Masculine and wrong. Loud, wrong, and masculine. Loud, wrong, and masculine. And this is what I experience from the community on a regular basis. This is what I...
Loud, wrong, and masculine. The unholy modern woman / black woman trinity. Loud, wrong, and masculine. Ladies and gentlemen, if under the headship of a boyfriend or a husband, she's not involved in that conversation. But since she is, she's a free thinker and she's allowed to do what she wants. But so be it. But at the end of the day, she was loud, wrong, and masculine. She's loud for saying that he's a sellout. She's wrong for bringing up something she doesn't even understand. And she's masculine for having the temerity to say it. But then again, as he said, that's the reason why black women are the least married and most divorced. Because they just can't leave well enough alone. Unfortunately. Love black women to death. But black women still blaming black men are still blamed for the loss that Kamala Harris took in the presidential election, even though 80% of black men, voting black men, voted for Kamala. The largest group of men voting for Ms. Harris, period. White men didn't vote for her that much. Hispanic men didn't vote for her that much. Other men didn't vote for her that much. Black men did, 80%. So if your beef is with anybody, it's not with a guy like Anton Daniels, although Anton Daniels may support the other side. The fact of the matter is you need to direct that anger to white men. But white men wanted jobs. White men wanted a better economy. White men wanted lower inflation. They voted for who they thought was right. If Kamala campaigned on that instead of the alphabet gang and abortion rights, which was the number one topic she explained of, because she wanted the female vote. If she catered to men rather than women, maybe she'd be in office today. If she had campaigned on the fact of bringing men home, stopping the wars, instead of having them continue, maybe she'd be in office today. She didn't. It was an ill-run campaign, and quite simply, they paid the price. However, for a man to have listened to both sides and want to vote for a guy who had his best interest at heart, he's to be punished for it. Because no good deed goes unpunished. Remember that. No good deed goes unpunished. Do remember that, people. Do remember that. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Live on IG, YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers.
From the community on a regular basis. They don't respect me, they disrespect themselves. They don't respect me, they disrespect themselves. I'm not tripping off y'all no more, man. Listen, dog. You gonna bust hell wide open with your views and your lifestyle. I'm not trying to impress the devil, and that's the part that y'all got to understand. The reason that I walk with so much confidence is because I know when people is hellbound when they are. It would be better for you to get on my team than to get on the other team. You on the wrong side. Forget being on the wrong side of history. You on the wrong side of life. You on the wrong side of life. Listen, us as a culture and as a community, we've had more freedom than we've ever had in our entire life. But we dustier than we ever been. Not me personally, but as a culture and as a community. Our entertainers are the only ones that's going to jail for trying to kill people. We always advocate against safety in our own communities and neighborhoods. We celebrate drug dealers. We align ourselves with a party that wants us to actually decrease our own population by leveraging killing unwanted babies as a form of contraception. At this point, you'd be hard-pressed to find a woman that's a part of the community that did not execute an unwanted pregnancy and then justified it and then allow for sassy men on the pulpit to then let women that's not even supposed to be in the pulpit, such as Kamala Harris, wear a pride shirt and then jump on the pulpit and tell you to vote for her and then talk about her faith without even acknowledging Jesus. Where we do that at? We used to have.
Yeah. Celebrating what should be sacrilege, quite simply. Us heralding criminals. Us of our women and their pop cultural references being in the absolute shit, quite simply. Celebrating people like Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B and Glorilla and Sexy Red, all literal whores on camera. They have your cultural identity in the gutter. And yet, Donald Trump's the bad guy. And yet, this guy's the bad guy for wearing the Donald Trump hat. You cannot make this stuff up. Ladies, let me say this. Let me say this. If you live in that glass house, don't throw stones. Because quite simply, black women live in the broadest glass house there is. It is up to you to reconcile that, to build that glass house out of better materials than glass itself. Now, I'm not saying black men don't suffer from the same things. He already mentioned that our men are criminals themselves and literally go out and try to kill each other for beefs. But I'll be damned if I will allow for such illiterate and ignorant behavior to be celebrated on this channel or anywhere in my vicinity of life. That's for darn sure. And black women, you got to do your part as well. If a man is doing good, he should be celebrated and not vilified. And that's exactly what happened to Anton Daniels right here. Wore a MAGA hat, oh, he's the devil. When the devils are all around your community, all around my community, because I am part of that community, and we don't call it out. That's the ultimate in hypocrisy. The ultimate in absolute denial. He's not the devil for wearing that hat. You were the devil for not calling out your faults and your foibles and the tragic aspects of yourself and trying to do better. No matter what form it comes in, at the end of the day, a man is allowed to change his mind, and he can indeed go against Trump if he sees fit. But for now, he sees Trump as the best way forward, and God love him for doing that. Some of you call him a convicted felon, but don't even know what it's for. Why he's a convicted felon. Don't even know the matters that are going on in separate jurisdictions, which will now be exonerated, to be fair. Which will now be expunged, to be fair. Yet, we don't call out the demons within our own community. We don't vilify Kamala Harris for keeping Christ, keeping Jesus, keeping religion out of her campaign in favor of the alphabet gang and telling them there's no room for Christ here in our vicinity. If that's not anti-Christian, I don't know what is. In the biggest Christian nation in the world. Absolute. The ironies abound, and it's an absolute tragedy. Until we are able to clean up our own mess, people, don't criticize a man for wearing a hat, which may, just may, lead you to salvation.
Some level of couth, some level of respect for ourselves. If you don't respect me, at least make somebody respect you. Look, you can't disrespect God. Now, I might not have got my life all the way together, but you ain't gonna come in here and talk that nonsense in here. But we just completely lost all kind of moral compass. We can do whatever you want to do, sleep with whoever you want to sleep with, rob who you want to rob. All we care about is forgiveness. Nobody cares about the victim. Everybody cares about the person that's in jail and saying free him. What about the person whose life he took? That's why your sons is sassy. And your daughters is ashy. And you're going to have to work for the rest of your life because you don't operate under traditional values and don't nobody want you.
There it is. There it is. When you put man above God, there's a problem. When you put the alphabet gang above Christianity itself, there's a problem. When you put the murderer over the victim, there's a problem. When you use contraception as a when you use abortion as a form of contraception, there's a problem. When you see Kamala Harris being the correct candidate in this campaign, there's a problem. You saw a litany of mistakes from this woman, and yet you still say that Donald Trump is the devil. When Donald Trump may be the one who saved your soul. Think about that. May just be the one to save your soul.
For some reason, they think that I'm supposed to still be on code. Man, I don't care nothing about your black card. I don't care nothing about your code. What you think I need your dusty black card? The only black card I need is in my wallet. What you think that I care about the fact that you don't even like your own wife? You don't like your own, you a baby mama? You a baby daddy? Everything you did is degenerate? You uneducated? You not focused? Think I care about your little dusty black card? Man, I don't want to come up to your barbecue anyway. It's just a plate full of diabetes. I'm going vegan next year. I'm going vegan next year. Don't worry about me pulling up to the bar. I don't want no Kool-Aid. I don't want no cocoa wheats. I don't want nothing. I don't want nothing from you. I don't need you. I don't want you. I'm only aligning with the people that's going in the direction that I'm going in. I'm an American. I'm a Christian. I'm a family man. Want your black card? I ain't trying to get shot anyway. I don't align with your values. And so it's not about me conforming to you. It's about you conforming to me, because light and darkness can't be in the same place. I'm not conforming to you, not adjusting to my environment. I'm walking bold, and I'm going to talk my talk. And everybody going to have to adjust around me. That's the way that it is. That's the way it's going to be. I'm not owned by anybody. Nobody cuts my paychecks. Remember that. The next time that y'all start getting apprehensive and y'all start worrying about what other people think about you, remember where you came from. Remember the God that you serve. Remember that. And even if you go through stuff, it rains on the just and the unjust. Has nothing to do with your righteousness. Has everything to do with your test. It's a test. Everything you do is a test. Don't turn your back on the thing that you stand for. And some of y'all don't even stand for nothing. You need to get back in church and remember where you came from. Sick of these people talking about negotiating. I don't negotiate with demons. I walk boldly and proudly into what it is that I believe in. That's it. End of discussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's absolutely right. It's time that this may be a time where, because things move way over to degeneracy, way over to lack of family values, way over to a place where, you know, the hierarchy of family and God have been done away with. Have literally been done away with. And maybe that is what you should be thinking about here. Instead of trying to allow for a way to, allow for the last form of contraception, maybe you should be living in a righteous manner. Instead of trying to deify murderers, maybe you should care for the victims and adjust your behavior as a result. Maybe instead of criticizing and vilifying a man with a red hat on, maybe you should Look into what it stands for. Now again. There are good and bad points to any movement. And I see the forest for the trees, believe me. This is not just a movement that will allow for the goodness in hearts and people and minds. There are those who take a very dark road to this to this path, and I can see them as well. And I'm not a fan of them either. But let's just see where this goes. Because the last time this had ended, there was a pandemic going on. A pandemic that anybody within the Oval Office was going to take a hit on. And it did with Donald Trump. It was an absolute shit show, to be fair. Sorry, I had to check the charger on the phone here. Well, let's see where this goes, indeed. Let's see if indeed God is brought back to the forefront rather than the demonization of man. And that's all I ask for. And if it doesn't, well, you can change your course in 4 years' time. That is part of the democratic process. You allow your mind to be changed, and you can vote for it as a result.
Crazy people. Crazy. Think I'm about to let people with no profile picture tell me what to do? And then I run into them in person. Man, I didn't used to like you, but I just be trolling. I never, not one day in my entire life, and I've ran into thousands of people, went to different events, hosting. I'm public. I walk around in the streets regularly. I'm at the games. I speak to people. I say what up, though. Not one time in my entire life since I've been live streaming have I seen somebody that said, man, I seen you online and I don't like what you said. You know what they do? They bend the knee. They bend the knee. Nobody says anything negative to me. And it's not because I'm so big and bad. It's because I don't even put off the type of energy that would warrant that type of energy. And so either the demons move out the way because they know the God that I serve, or they get in line and they bend the knee. Either you coming with me or you can get out of my way. Either way, I don't serve you. I don't care about what you think. The only thing I know is God got my back. And so that's why I walk with confidence. I don't worry about what's on my left. I don't worry about what's on my right. I go forward. And the only thing that matters is what God told me to do. All of this other nonsense, this is extra. Don't mean nothing to me. If I lost everything, I still serve my God and I still gonna do what he told me to do. It don't matter. You can't negotiate with me because I don't care about what you think. I don't care. So now you're gonna even have to do something. You gotta do something. Either get out of my way.
Thank you very much, Anton Daniels, for that. That was fantastic. That was brilliant. Again, listen, he is in the lion's den, and he is walking proudly, and quite simply, he deserves to be championed for his point of view, because again, he's going against the grain. He's going against what the status quo, especially in the black community, are advocating, and that is Democratic Party or else. Democratic Party or die. Because your mama black. Because your brother black. Because somebody black. But the fact of the matter is they ran a horrible campaign and they brought out criminals as advocates for their own party. Instead of sticking to the facts and sticking to the issues of the day, they decided to as their number one campaign issue see abortion. The last resort of contraception as their number one issue in which to campaign. And they saw man over God in terms of celebrating the alphabet gang. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the people spoke. They wanted a different chart. They wanted a different path. And God loved them for it. And that's something we have to take away from this whole thing, is that no group is a monolith. And there are such things as black conservatives, and they shouldn't be vilified for their own views. And the fact of the matter is, if they're on the right side of history, so be it. But they shouldn't be considered sellouts. They shouldn't be considered villains. They should not be ostracized from society. They have a stance. They have a view that deserves to be listened to. And we thank Anton Daniels tonight for his accounts, because it happens all over. And sometimes, indeed, you don't want to be invited to the cookout. Sometimes you want to go your own way. Sometimes you want to be the head of a family. Sometimes you want, sometimes as a man you want, and a black man in and of itself, you want to live a Christian lifestyle, be the head of a family, advocate for a more traditional way of doing things, and build your black community again. Because that's when we were at its peak. The black community was at its peak when we were Christian, when we were married, and when we were on the side of the Holy Ghost. And unfortunately, we lost our way. And the only villain is a man in a hat. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're going to end it there. It lasted the hour as I wished. I'm going to get into this NBA stuff here. And just watching Shaq over there do his thing. But again, we'll be back on tomorrow night. I plan on getting on here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday tonight, because again, it's a little longer week this time round. And again, it's we're gonna bring in another subject, a subject that I wanted to do today, but I pushed off to tomorrow. If you saw the subject, so be it. But if not, then we will see it again tomorrow. You'll see it again tomorrow. Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me on Talk live on IG and YouTube. Like, subscribe, comment on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are going to be back tomorrow night. New subject. And I think we're going to go on to, I might as well give away the story now. We're going to talk about why 62% of men are single. And, hey, no one seems to care about it. But thank you very much for joining me in Talk Live on IG and YouTube. And we're going to end it here. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night here on IG and YouTube. And speak to you soon. And I hope you have a great night. Good night from Toronto. Here on IG. And thank you very much for joining me on Talk live on here on YouTube. We're going to be back again tomorrow night. Thank you very much for all the comments. Thank you very much for all the likes. Thank you very much for all the subscribers. We need you. So like, subscribe, comment here on Talk Live. Sponsored by DunTalk, DUNTALK.com. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night.